The Prime Minister's denied Australia is a dissident at the Pacific Leaders Forum, where climate and climate change concerns led a marathon meeting and a divided final declaration.
Scott Morrison says his primary responsibility is to the Australian people, but his Fijian counterpart blasted the forum's final statement. Jackson Williams has more from Tuvalu.
Scott Morrison returns home today, adamant Australia is not out of step with Pacific nations, despite his government appearing to stand isolated in its stance on climate change. Following a 12-hour leaders' retreat at the Pacific Islands Forum, the 18 member states failed to unconditionally agree to a declaration that calls for a rapid transition from coal and for countries to halt subsidising fossil fuels. The Prime Minister of host nation Tuvalu blaming Australia.
Prime Minister, did the qualifier begin with capital A?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But Scott Morrison says Australia has shown enough support.
Australia's program is to step up in the Pacific, and that means standing up with our Pacific family when it comes to the issues that are obviously of greatest concern, and particularly to Pacific Island nations, for whom the threats and challenges of climate change, both now and in the future, are literal. They are self-evident.
The leaders did agree to a communique and a climate change statement, but Fijian Prime Minister Frank Bainimarama, a critic of Australia's climate change policies, fired out this tweet following the retreat. "We came together in a nation that risks disappearing to the seas, but unfortunately we settled for the status quo in our communique. Watered-down climate language has real consequences, like waterlogged homes, schools, communities and ancestral burial grounds." The Prime Minister of Tuvalu says he wishes he could have achieved more for his people, confirming his Australian counterpart went into the retreat determined to put his country's economy first.
We stressed very strongly during our exchange, in fact, between me and Scott, and said, you are concerned about saving your economies or your situation in Australia. I'm concerned about saving my people in Tuvalu. And likewise the leaders of others Pacific small island countries. That was the tone of the discussion. Please don't expect that we come and, we bow down.
Representatives from China and the United States will address the forum today. Scott Morrison says geopolitical tensions and the increased strategic importance of the region weren't raised in the retreat.